tonight, this young lady says some very terrible things has been done to her and she needs to vent. And I'm here to listen. My dear, you're welcome to Confessions.
Thank you, Miss Nancy. I'm glad to be here.
Your story, your confession.
Yeah. So about my story, it started with a simple Facebook message from a guy I didn't know.
Okay.
I checked his account and it looked like he was verified.
Okay.
Luxury style, lifestyle. Yeah, everything was fine. And we even had a few mutual friends.
Okay.
So he DM'd me about a private party, VIP party that was happening over the weekend. And I figured it was a one-time opportunity, so let me just go and have a little fun. So he sent me the venue. When I got there, the place looked abandoned. So I texted him, and then he replied immediately and said I should enter, and that the door wasn't locked. When I got in, there was nobody there.
No party?
No. There was no music, no movement. It was just complete darkness. And just when I decided to turn back and go home, a hand gripped mine, and a rag was used to cover my mouth. And I don't know what happened from there. It was just dead silence. I was dragged. And I don't know how many days I spent there exactly. Maybe 1, maybe 3, maybe even a week. But I remember that I was raped over and over and over again. Yes. And so when he was done with me, like trash, he dropped me by a random junction. And my parents found me, took me to the hospital. It took a week for me to recover physically, but emotionally, I was a wreck. And my best friend was there, I remember. My best friend cried when I cried. She was very supportive. And she even helped me get closure and told me her father was very powerful, which I knew, and that he would get to the bottom of this and make sure whoever did this paid. So I decided to move on, just start afresh. I applied for a new hostel, got a new roommate. And the day my roommate was supposed to appear, the door opened and it wasn't my roommate. It was this same guy, the guy who abused me back then.
So at a point you could see the person?
I saw him and I recognized him.
During the period, you were able to see him, but you couldn't help yourself?
No. I was dragged, so there was nothing I could do.
But you could still see the person, and you could recognize the person.
And I could feel what was happening
to you.
Yes.
Oh.
So this was the guy in my hostel, in my room, smiling. And at that point, I just froze.
You will.
And what even surprised me was that he came with my best friend, the same one I said was by my side throughout my recovery. And the girl was also smiling. So she introduced him as her elderly brother. Yeah, her elderly brother.
So your best friend's brother did that to you?
Yes.
Goodness.
And it was clear she didn't know the kind of brother she had. So I was frozen. I didn't know what to do. And I don't know if I should say it. What if I'm not believed? What if they think I'm just making things up? And the same, how are they supposed to behave or react when they found out that the same person they lived with was somebody who was such an animal to me?
To you?
Yes, so I don't know. I need help. Someone who scarred me so much is my best friend's brother. Yeah.
This is quite a confession. This is quite a story. A gentleman who is supposed to be from a decent home messed her up. And she's not even reported it to the police. She's not told anyone.
No.
She just reached out to us here on Confessions and wanted to vent to us. I'm so sorry for what you've been through, my dear. So sorry. But let's get into the studio and make a conversation out of this. I'm sure we'll be able to give you some information that would help. Again, I'm sorry. We are seated, and this doesn't happen to be a very pleasant confession. In fact, as a woman, whenever I hear of rape, something goes through me. Because even when you're with that person you truly love and adore, and you are not in the mood, and the person needs you, and you try to accommodate them, it's not easy. And to be touched by one you do not know, and to be abused in this manner, I can only imagine. Right. Who wants to be the first to comment?
Good evening, Miss Nancy.
Good evening, my dear.
I'm Focus Brown.
Focus
Yeah.
Brown killer. Like these your shades, it's a killer levels kind of. Thank you, Focus. We are very focused. Let's go.
So what I want to say is, social media is not a place to play. Sometimes it's good to communicate. If you meet a saint, you should still communicate. At least ask a friend, or do you know this person? Have you seen this person before meeting the person? You can't just live on your own because you feel like, oh, this person is nice, they have nice clothes, they look good, so you trust them. You can't just trust anyone on social media.
You
have
just
to be
cannot
careful.
trust anyone on social media. That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes?
Miss Nancy, good
Hey,
evening.
from killer to assigner attitija. Boy, you are sparkling.
Thank you so much. You are looking gorgeous today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Miss Nancy, it's been a long while.
It has
we
been.
met. Yes. The last time we were speaking, I was telling you I have a present for you,
Oh,
and I couldn't come again.
okay.
Yes. So today I want to do that presentation
Oh,
before I'll give my contribution. Yeah, so I want to tell you that you have a very huge fan on social media. So the guy actually came into my DM because he couldn't get into you. And
okay.
he said he wanted to gift you his artwork. So I told him to come today because I'm coming here and he's
Okay.
here. So
Okay.
if you don't mind. can you
Well,
bring him?
I do not mind. Let me have the gentleman that
Yeah.
brought the gift.
Ixen Art. Yeah, Ixen Art. That's his name.
Ixen Art.
Yes.
Okay, Ixen Art. Celebrate Ixen Art. Hi, Ixen Art. Oh, very fine, cute gentleman. Please sit by me for just a few minutes. Okay. Hi, Ixen.
Miss Nancy.
Good to have you. I hear you're a huge fan of mine.
Yes, please.
I'm sure when I see your work, I'll be a huge fan of yours too, right? Let's get on to it. Yes, you can.
Broken, my heart aches in pain. Hopelessly waiting for something.
Oh, wow. This is nice. Did you actually do this? With what? You are what?
Charcoal artist.
Charcoal?
So I use charcoal to draw this.
BDA.
Yeah.
Oh my God, please send it over to me. This is beautiful. Even though it's an old picture, but I'm absolutely loving it. It looks like me, right? Very, very. He drew me well. Hey, so my nose, no, this is how it is. That's how I've been getting who knows tomorrow. Anyway, thank you very much. Ixen Art. If you want something beautiful for your beloved, please come to this gentleman. Your social media handle?
Ixen Art. And when you go to IG, it's Ixen Art. And,
Okay.
TikTok too as well.
Ixen Art. All the best. I want you to become great. I'll be bringing you business myself, okay? Thank you very much, Ixen, for this beautiful gift. All right. I'm truly grateful for this gift. Thank you. Thank you, Michael Jackson.
Miss
No
Nancy.
wonder you are sparkling. You came to
Thank
give me
you.
some sparkle.
Yes.
Truly grateful for
You
this
know how we
gift.
do it now.
Back to the confession.
Yes. So back to the confessions. What I want to put out there is let's all be careful about social media. These days, social media has become so hazardous. It's not that friendly. So when you see people post on social media, don't just take them as you see them. Analyze them. I mean, you can do a follow up, or if you know somebody who knows the person, you can ask the person. And also, aside that, if you are visiting somebody, this one is very important to me. I've been doing that myself. When I'm coming to visit somebody for the first time, or I'm going somewhere that I don't know, I send the location to a close friend,
Someone,
to
yeah.
someone, so that in case of anything, they know that, okay, I can be
This is
traced.
where you were.
Yes, so this is the
I
little I
actually
can
do
give
that for
out.
my security as well. My two sisters, I mean, it doesn't matter which time of day. When you are there and you see me send a location, it means that I'm going somewhere I've never been before with someone I do not know. And it's very, very important. This is good. This is good. Thank you, guys. Let us make the conversation even more interesting right here on TV3. This is Confessions Tonight. For the first time in person, I am having Habib Sani. He is a security analyst. How can we have this conversation about your security and not bring the right people in? Habib, it's your first time in person, right?
Absolutely.
And it's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And then Mariam Dako. Mariam Dako is a psychologist in training, and she is going to help us with how to deal with some of these traumatic experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Confessions.
Thank you, Miss Nancy.
Now, you know, we keep saying that Ghana is the most secured country in Africa, like one of the most secure places to live in the world. Is this still true, or it's been updated?
Well, if you compare Ghana's security profile to a lot of countries, especially within our subcontinent, we are better off in terms of security. Kidnapping is not as rampant as it is
In other
Nigeria.
places.
You know, we've never been attacked by terrorists before. We don't have
Thankfully.
any active insurgency going on in any part of the country. But it is utopian for anyone to think that there can be a society without crime. That is why it is important we still keep to some security hygiene, so at least we are able to keep ourselves safe.
It looks like both governments that has been in power over the years have done great with our security. We would want to commend both the MPP, the NDC, even President Nkrumah, and everyone. We are grateful because with peace, we get to live. Now, let's move on from there and talk about how safe are we, especially as women in this society, in this country?
Well, to a large extent, like I said, we are safe. However, women remain very vulnerable to a lot of, social vices of today. Primarily also due to our habits on social media. We give out too much information.
Oh,
in fact,
do
I
we?
have too much
Do
information.
you follow me on social media?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do follow you. And I do follow some other women who are my friends as well.
Also.
And even family.
Okay.
Yes.
And you feel that most of us give out too much
Too
information?
much information.
What is too much information, sir?
There are some individuals, when they wake up in the morning, you know whether they bath cold water or hot water.
Okay.
You know what food they eat in the morning, in
Yes.
the afternoon, and evening.
Yes.
You know their children, the names of their children, the schools they attend, the time they take them to school and pick them up from school.
And
You
they
know-
don't do this intentionally. These are just information that slides in conversations and comments and posts every...
But sometimes, Miss Nancy, we downplay the extent to which our posts go. You know, it goes very far. You
It
are announcing
does.
to the whole world what you are about in your home. So if you go on my social media handles, I have 4 children. I've never, ever posted a
Any of
picture
your
of
children.
my
And I can
child.
imagine how fine they are.
You know, because of the nature of my work.
Yes.
Maybe you can.
Yes.
You get me? Maybe
Yes.
some other person can. But not everybody will
Everybody
be able
will
to
be
do
able
that.
to.
And I think that is what is making the criminals develop what we call profile of us. So they know what time you wake up, what time you leave the home, where you go, where you pass, what time you return. So guess what? A case came before me involving an individual who had traveled and had posted pictures of his holidays abroad.
Yeah.
Thieves didn't just break into the house. They lived in the
The
house for
house.
crying out loud.
In Accra?
Yes, in
Ghana.
Accra. Yes, they lived
Hi.
there. I mean, they were the new tenants, so to speak.
They
And
just
that-
went in there to enjoy
to-
the
and,
home.
and they
because
finished all
they
the food in
knew
the fridge. And that nothing
that's
hurts him like the puna yam that came from the north. They ate that one as well.
as well.
Because they knew his whereabouts. I travel, but I ensure I don't post whilst I'm away.
Oh, yeah.
I come back home. Anytime you see pictures of me on social media abroad, you know I'm in Ghana. And that is what we usually, prescribe.
You need to do.
Yes.
This is great information for us, and I know that it's going to be a very educative, conversation. Hey, Miriam,
Hello, Miss Nancy.
is it out of ordinary for a woman to just communicate with a gentleman on social media, not have met them, not have spoken to them, and dress up, put herself together, that she's going to visit a faceless person she's never met nor spoken to, only the chat type with?
Traditionally, it isn't. It is not appropriate. But we live in a virtual world now. So a lot of times, people's business opportunities, a lot of things we do goes through the virtual system.
Yeah.
So I can, in a way, understand why she decided to give this a try. But, like I said, naturally and traditionally, this isn't appropriate.
Because a man is supposed to pursue a woman,
Yes.
if for anything. Do we
Yes.
even understand that these days?
Yes.
That a man is supposed to pursue
We've
a woman.
lost the art of pursuing or chasing the women. That thing, that the thrill that comes with knowing a man is pursuing you, that it's a loss.
I love it.
It's gone.
If you want me,
It's
these
gone.
days, the funny thing is that some of the men feel that so long as they're going to buy you a ticket, a business class ticket to anywhere in the world, you should be ready to dress up, pack up, and come to them.
No, it's not supposed to be that way. And so it was a very troubling thing to see that out of the blue, someone sent you a message. Yes, you've been following the person for a while, but for you to take that bold step to go to wherever to meet them, and we all know how that ended. It wasn't right. There are definitely underlying issues that makes people do the things they do. So it's not normal.
So these things do happen. That is
Wow.
why we need to exercise a great deal of discretion. Like you also said, send location.
Your live location
Your live
to
location
someone you
is
trust.
extreme, somebody you trust. Even if you are picking an Uber, you send someone a live location and learn to
But is
trust
it not
your
wise
instincts.
for us, the women, to, for first meetings, allow the people to come into our spaces of that we feel secured?
But Miss
Absolutely.
Nancy, abusers and users, if you like, meet the person 1,001 times in public before you go into their home. Some of them have the patience to lay in wait.
Obey you, obey you.
Yes, say 100 years are
Obey you.
Exactly. So it's important that you, as women, or everybody else, because now everybody is open to any kind of abuse. Men are being abused, children. It doesn't matter who you are. You
The
need
men are being abused. Sounds funny.
exactly.
But you guys have been abused there.
Oh yes,
It happens.
yes. There are lots
It
of
happens.
young.
Me laughing.
Especially when growing up.
Yes.
I know many men, their virginity was taken by older women when they were growing up.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
sometimes mates,
Yes.
people very close to the family.
Yes.
So it is a common
The
phenomenon.
men have been abused,
So let's
but they
learn,
choose to enjoy
let's
the abuse
learn to
and
No,
not
they don't.
report it.
They don't.
Yes.
They don't.
So, Miss
enjoy-
Nancy, let's learn to trust our instincts. If I move up my sleeve, you'd realize there's a deep scar from the wrist all the way to the top. Because I was about to pick a vehicle, my instinct told me, no, don't. I forced. I even went back to my hotel, came back. My instincts were telling me, no, don't pick this vehicle. And when I did, it resulted into the accident. So let's learn to trust our instincts as well. But one thing is for sure, Miss Nancy,
Tell me.
life is risky.
Life
You
is risky,
cannot
huh?
ensure. Look, you can be with the person, know his family. He's the nicest person you can ever imagine. Marry the person, then you would go in, then you realize he has a multi-personality
Yeah.
disorder of
Disorder.
some sort.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
Yeah.
This is a good one. This is Confessions on TV3. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more. speaking about social media, your security, how to protect yourself, especially as women. We are DMing on a daily basis. I get proposals on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Sometimes you read some, it gives you a kick. Like, oh, wow. Like English diction, everything on point, kind of, you know. And if you were available, you would have looked at it critically. We get DM'd all the time, not just me. Most young women, listen, what are some of the things that you should notice whilst you are even chatting with a person that, this is a red flag, this is a person I should be careful of?
Okay, so when the person at the point becomes too nosy, yeah, where do you live? What is your address? Do you live alone? Do you have a boyfriend? So I always tell ladies, if you are living alone, never let anybody know. Even if an artisan comes into the house, like a carpenter, a mason comes into the house, let them think there's a male counterpart. So I tell them, you can make a call. Honey, are you on your way home? The mason is here. Would you come and reach him? Okay, you come. Even if he finishes his work and leaves, he knows a man is coming home. But once you make them know you live alone, it becomes a problem. And there are some individuals who are also highly irritant. I don't know whether that's the word to use. When the person is supposed to get angry, he doesn't. When he's not supposed to get angry, the person can just lose it with a common no thank you. Give me your number. No, thank you.
And they start abusing you.
They start abusing you.
You get that a lot.
Yes. So some of these individuals are also very dangerous.
Another red flag.
You know.
Girls, are you watching? Are you listening attentively? This is supposed to make you feel secured. So please pay attention. When you are talking to the person and they flip, they get angry and start abusing you when they were not, what's the word I would want to, provoked.
Absolutely.
You should know that.
Yes.
More.
And when
Give
the
us
person
more.
insists, let's meet at a secret location, let's meet at a hotel, the person is insisting. And he doesn't just insist, he tries to entice. Oh, I have a lot of money. When you come, I'll give you. You know he's up to something. You know, it's not in all cases, but in most cases, it does happen so as well. So what I recommend you do is, even when you are meeting the person, because all of us might have at a point met someone on social media we fall for.
Yes.
We cannot run away from that fact. Okay. So even when you are meeting the person, meet the person at a public place like the Accra Mall. And I know the La Paz traffic, a lot of meetings has been happening there.
La Paz traffic, eh? Hey,
the La Paz near the Eco Bank. Other line.
La Paz
oh, you don't know. Opposite Las Palmas, you know it.
Las Palmas.
A lot of meetings has been happening there. So if you decide to meet the person at his base, it becomes very dangerous. You see,
so it's always safe for you to do the first meeting in a public place. So that you can assess and at least feel a little confident with your security before you move on.
Yes. And like I said, the person would entice you. If the person becomes, he brags a lot, oh, I have this, I have that, please don't fall for it. There are a lot of people living fake lives on social media, including a lot of, the so-called celebrities. They don't have what they claim.
The celebrities, they don't have what they claim they have. Eh?
A lot of them, we know. Not everybody knows. I mean, a lot of young people fall for it, especially females, and they are pressured into wanting to be, those celebrities. I know celebrities who rent outfits.
Yes.
Cars.
For 7.
So when you fall for
cars.
such a person, yes, and show it, blast it in our face, and you want to have it by hook or crook.
That's why those of us who are not celebrities, we live very comfortable lives because we are not celebrities. We only work on TV. Yes.
So we need to be very careful and be mindful of these, signs that we usually overlook.
Miriam, you wanted to come in with
some. So, like I mentioned earlier, body language, the tone, how you can even bring up scenarios and see the kind of opinions they have on situations. And for as long as you want to date them in an open space, before you are comfortable with them, do it. And always let someone know where you are going, who you are with. If you have to send live locations, do all of that. And not just to people who want to date you, but even friends. Because we've had cases where there's friendship jealousy. And so the first time something happens to someone, the person they usually think of is probably a loved one, but usually there are friends who also cause harm to other people. Yes,
people.
and so we need to make sure people are aware of who we are with and where we are at every point in time, and listen to your body. Your body is not lying to you. Pay attention to your body. Yeah.
That's a good one. So this young lady took the risk and she went in there. Miriam, could you know some of the things with which they drug people? Because most of the time, they just say they drank something. What do they put in? Do they go to sleep? Or when someone is in deep sleep, are you able to do anything exciting with them? Or I just want to know. You have any idea on
So
those?
they have date rape drugs. There are a number of them that they use. I can't mention some
Date
of
rape
date rape drugs. That's
drugs.
the general term for
them.
For them, they are called date rape drugs, and it comes in different forms. Sometimes it could even be a simple painkiller that usually knocks you off. So they'll give it to you in a higher dosage, and then it knocks you off, and they have their way with you. And usually, abusers or users, they know how to lay in wait for you. They know what things to do to get you to the point that they can use you. And so anything can happen to you once you are off. They can do all sorts of, they have fetishes that they need to, that satisfies them. They have certain desires that seeing you in a vulnerable position is what entices them.
But this gentleman in question, going back to our confession, is from a decent family and can have any woman he so wishes. If he wants to be promiscuous and be sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, he can have them because they have that kind of societal, this social status and the finances.
So money
So
doesn't
why is
fulfill.
he luring people?
Yeah, so money doesn't make you, or it doesn't, if you're a psychopath, you're a psychopath. If you have issues, you have issues. If you have mental issues, illnesses, you have them. And so the money doesn't change anything. It's more of a deep-rooted issue that you're trying to oppress, or it's a sudden feeling in you that you need to, it's something that builds their ego. That's how abusers are, from narcissists to rapists to whatever, murderers even. There's something about them that when they have you in a vulnerable position, it empowers them. It puts them in a position of power. So you can even be rich, but you have to subdue someone to feel a certain satisfaction.
You don't like it that people will give themselves to you.
No.
You want to take people
they
by
have
force.
to be in power. They always have to be in a position of power where they humiliate you. They put you in a subdued position. It gives them a thrill. So that's how their brain works, unfortunately. For them, when you get to the bottom of it, it was also done to them. Once you get to the bottom of it, it's either a male figure in their lives did it to them or a female figure. And most of the time, it's always from the people around you. It starts from the family. Maybe you live in a compound house, a neighbor. It always starts from the immediate environment. So it's important that parents pay attention. To people
because
who come around
mostly when the
children.
men are abused and they do not report, this is the end result. They grow up to become abusers themselves.
Yes, and
that's
also,
serious.
Every child doesn't, whether you're a girl or
Does
a
not
boy,
understand.
you don't, yes, because you don't know what is going on. They don't enjoy it. But unfortunately, they don't know how to process it well. It becomes normal for them. And it's easy for someone who has been abused once to be abused twice, thrice, and it goes on. So, because there's something about abused people that shows vulnerability, and people know how to spot them. And so out of a group of children, a person can tell which child doesn't have a certain kind of parental attention, and they know how to pick them and prey on them. So if one abuser can spot this child, imagine the number of abusers in a particular... Yes, and so it becomes normal for them.
And Miss Nancy, to add to that, you know, mental health is a serious issue in Ghana, but we overlook it. In some cases, I mean, beyond the person's experiences and all that, there are mental health issues. I have a lady friend of mine. She can get angry for no reason. Then I did some research. Then I realized she has there's this mental issue. There's a name for it.
Bipolar.
Bipolar. And I did my own. I spoke with medical experts, and when I described the situation, they said this is a suspected case of bipolar. And the day I told her, she got angry. Okay, you are calling me a mad woman.
Yes.
Then,
I hear that's
then
the
there was a
reaction
break in
always.
communication. Later, she came back to me. Adib, God bless you. It's true. I went for diagnosis, and I realized it is a
I've been
bipolar
challenged.
situation. And there are situations where even celebrities, Tupac has been accused of rape.
Yes.
Drake has been accused.
Many
Harvey
of them.
Weinstein. They can have all the most beautiful women you can imagine, but some of them
The women
just
are
can't take
throwing
no.
themselves at them. They
Yes.
refuse, and they
Exactly.
go after the ones that they want.
Yes, and they cannot just take no for an answer. You've
Answer.
challenged them. So in some cases, they are forced to, do the unthinkable.
Can we, now I need to speak to you as a woman and a man beyond your expertise. Can we go back to the ages where men would come into the homes of women who were their love interest and meet their parents and court them right there in their homes? What are the parents doing these days that the girl children are not bringing their love interest or asking them to come home? They are always going out to meet them. Why are they not feeling confident enough to bring the men back home to their parents so that they would be courted in an environment where they will be safe? What is happening in our society?
Well, for me, I come from a very huge family of 25 children. And guess what?
Your
Miss
dad was a
Nancy-
man, huh?
Oh, yes, he was a man. And guess what? I'm the last of the 25. So if you had practiced family planning, I might not be sitting here today. And we came from a very conservative Islamic northern background. How dare you bring a man to the house? How dare you bring a woman to the house? But things have changed
now.
because of social media. You keep communicating. You can see each other on live video and all that. And there also seems to be a breakdown in the moral standards in our society. There are some parents who tell especially their daughters, don't bring a poor man home. Bring a rich man home. So if you go and look for some national service boy, then it becomes, a bit of a problem. So, and I remember there's this lady I was dating some time ago. I was doing my service, and the mother said, "No, you can't do that. I want you to marry that doctor." And guess what? One day, I was sitting in my office. I understand a woman had a problem. They said she should come and see the boss, and she opened, and it was me seated there.
You that you couldn't marry her daughter.
So some of these things, do happen. Children would have to be taught the right thing.
Yes.
Children would have to see the parents love each other.
Yes.
When they see mommy and daddy fighting always, daddy abusing mommy, they grow up with it. And they start with their colleagues in class. A child hitting the other children in the classroom because he thinks it's normal. So we cannot allow this to continue. We have to start from the home, then the school takes over at the point.
That's a good one. Miriam?
Yes, so like what he said, parents must learn to create a relationship with their children that allows them to, the first time they are whenever they have issues, the first person they'll go to is mommy or daddy.
Should be mommy or daddy.
Yes, they should be confident that, okay, even when I go to mommy, she's going to chastise me, but then she's going to... Exactly. And so that's the basic level that we have to start from. And then the schools should not just be involved in just the academic welfare of children, but then beyond the academia, they should look at the welfare of the children. If there's something that's off, you should be able to have communications with the parents about your children, their progress. If there's something happening at home that the parent is unable to notice, when the child goes to school, the teacher should be able to tell the difference. I had a personal experience when I was younger, and my mom wasn't around most of the time. But then my teacher, I remember her so well, Teacher Grace. I remember she called my mom in one time. She's like, this and that about Mariam, before my mom figured what it was. And so for that, I'm so grateful that I had that thing happen to me. Exactly. So it should be a communal effort. Everybody should be involved. Back then, I know when you do something, a neighbor can lash you, and
Of
your
course.
parents won't be upset.
When they come, they will lash you on top.
On top, exactly. My grandmother used to say that all the time. But she said, "What do you want be bad when you answer?" Even a teacher, you know. And then roles reversed. Recently, I encountered a lady who was so upset. She was on the phone with her child's teacher, telling the teacher, "Eya bono, me bono, me can't say I won't feel me." Exactly.
Over.
Asking exactly. So also work life, urban migration and all of that has caused a bit of issue at home where parents don't have the time for their children. But the price you pay for what they become is bigger. So we need to invest the time now. Yeah.
And Miss
That's a
Nancy,
good
just
one.
a quick one on that. Please, let's encourage the children to talk to us.
Yes.
Me, when I get home, my children, I don't ask them questions. BBC News. They will tell me what happens today.
Everything.
And I encourage them and reward them for talking to me.
Of course.
Okay, and I sometimes have issues with the mother. You see, when a child tells you something, no matter how shocking it is, the way you receive it will determine if the child will talk to you again. If he says something that you go, "Oh, Jesus, oh, I'm dead. Trust me, the child will not talk to you
Because
again.
she will
Make
feel
it
that
look
she's
normal.
scared
Oh,
you.
really? Oh, so that is what happened. Oh, thank you for telling me. And because you told me, I'll give you toffee. I'll give you this. Then later you can sit the child down and
deal with them.
Deal with them, you know. But once a child tells us something and we panic and, you know, we are in shock.
The
and
panic,
that
we
is the
panic,
problem.
women.
I mean, my daughter has told me something before. I felt like the ground opening for me to enter.
But you
I
kept
dealt
your
with it.
composure.
You get me? What if she had not told me? You see. So it's important.
Open up your homes, your hearts, your ears to your children so that they can build trust and let them feel confident enough to bring their friends home, their love interest home, because in your home, they will be safer. This is Confessions. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We're wrapping up this conversation. So, to you in the studio. Yes, my dear.
I want to say the lady involved in this confession is a very strong lady to
Yeah.
have gone through all of this. But at the same time, it's very traumatizing. So she needs to
Very.
see a trauma-informed specialist who can take her through
The process
the
of
pain,
healing.
the process
and
of
mending.
healing. And at the same time, ladies out there should be very careful because there's a lot of settings out there. And also-
Settings, eh?
Yeah.
What are some of the settings?
Oh, I mean, like I see a beautiful lady. I follow her on her socials, like the security specialist say. You know what she wants. You know the kind of things she posts. You see that some people, they go to the club and be posting fun
So you
moments
get
with
to
friends.
know
and
their
things. So you get to
lifestyle.
know what they want. So it's easy to trap them.
Yes.
Even if I don't have what you want, I can set it up for you to fall inside.
Yes.
Hormones and me trap na then. Chibela.
Yes. Girls, we have to be careful. You wanted to say something, and then we wrap up. Please go ahead.
Miss Nancy, please, good evening.
Good evening, my love.
Actually, there's a saying that parents should train their children in a way so that when they grow up, they will not depart from it. So parents can also help by bringing up their child or children in a way that when they go out, they can't be influenced easily by their peer groups or friends.
Yeah.
That will also help. And secondly, with the intuition or listening to your instinct, I pray to God. And my intuition level has gotten to a place whereby I'm going somewhere and my instinct can tell me don't go or go. So that can also help.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Yes, my lady.
Thank you, Miss Nancy. Miss Nancy, should I say I've been a victim or no? I was almost a victim to this social media thing. I
We
joined
thank
this
God that
dating-
you were almost.
Almost, yes. I joined this dating app on social media.
Okay.
And I met this guy who was interested.
You were done dating all your schoolmates, your church friends, and people you've met in real life, the guys that come on confessions. You are done with all of them, so you have to go on an app. My dear, I want to know the story.
Yes, Miss Nancy. And we started talking. I met this guy. We started talking and all that. And he was like, he wants me to come over. He stays at Accra, some part of Accra. I don't want to mention the exact place.
Area.
And I told him, no, I can't make it. The time you want me to come, he says he wants me to come around 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And I told him, no, I have a child. So I don't know who I'm going to leave my boy with and come over to your place. And he's like, oh, I'll make it quick. And I said, you make what quick? Do you think I'm a hookup girl or what? And he's like, oh, I should stop what I'm doing or saying. I should just come over. He'll make me good. He'll make me feel good. And I can even spend the night at his place and go the following day. And I was like, please. Since then, I just deleted the app and deleted my information and everything there. Yes.
So this thing you are sharing is going to save another young woman, because these people are out there just looking out for sex. So if you're looking for a relationship, if you're looking for companionship, if you're looking for marriage, dating app in Ghana, I am not sure. My dear lady and gentlemen, your last words as we wrap up. This young lady who has gone through this traumatizing experience involving her best friend and a powerful family, what would you tell her? How do we help her?
She definitely needs to report to the police. There's no, because these people thrive in people's silence and people's shame. So forget the shame, forget the silence, and report them. Even if it doesn't make a difference, it's a starting ground.
Yeah.
And also, they need to learn to protect themselves. She said that you have to listen to your instincts.
Yes.
And so, yes, that's what I would say. And she needs to get to see a therapist. There are lots of mental help avenues that people don't know in Ghana. When you go to the hospitals, you can easily access mental help assistance so that you can recover from the kind of trauma that she has gone through. So she shouldn't just stop at reporting to the police, but she needs to get the help to be able to overcome the challenge. Yeah.
Yes, I'll ask you this before I come to Sani. As a parent, when your child comes to you with a situation like this, how do you give them support?
First of all, you have to let them know you believe them.
Yes.
The first way a child will feel validated is my mother believes me or my father believes me.
Yes.
And so when it starts from there, and then you have to investigate.
Yes.
Whoever the child mentions, you have to confront the person.
Follow up on
and
it.
sometimes you even have to have the child around. You need to give the child a pep talk. I'm here to protect you. We are going to speak to this person. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid of the person, because they tell them, you can't tell mommy, whatever. And another mistake parents we make is everybody is uncle, everybody is auntie. No. Let the children know the difference between their
family members and those who are not. Your teacher is your teacher, not your auntie.
Exactly. And so let them know. Yeah, we just call them auntie, but this is my real brother. This is my real sister.
What I decided to do is that I allow my daughter to call people by their names. So my daughter is not going to say Uncle Sani.
Yeah.
She will say Sani. And I will tell you that it is because I want her to understand that I have only one biological blood brother.
Exactly.
I may have cousins. She will call you by your name. Some people may not appreciate it, but that is my way of letting, because I have so many people around me. Otherwise, I'm deaded. Past tense of dead.
Yeah, very true. So it's important we let them know the difference between our real blood relatives and then outsiders, because sometimes they feel like these people use that, they capitalize on that to let them feel like you are going to destroy our family, or they won't believe you or whatever. So you need to let them know. And so every parent, pay attention, listen and believe. Let your children know that you believe them. Most of the time, they are not lying.
Sani, your last words, please.
And we shouldn't also judge the children. A child comes to tell you something, you go, why did you do that in the first place? Why did you do this? What? It has happened. The person needs your support. This is not the time to traumatize the person
Even more
by judging. So I have a lot of young people coming to me, telling me terrible things. Sometimes they talk to me and I'm trembling, but I have to remain composed because I wouldn't want to take that picture. So they are very comfortable coming and telling me all sorts of deals. So I think she needs to immediately also seek medical attention. It is very important. And she needs to report to the appropriate authorities. If they don't act, she should speak with some people who she can trust, who can help her.
So in a situation like this, and we need somebody to investigate, would you be available to do the job?
Absolutely.
Where are you found on your social media? How do we get in touch with a man like you?
Okay, so Adib Sani on all platforms, ADIB SAANI. And guess what? No matter where the person is, no matter which rat hole the person is,
You will
we'll
find
smoke the person out.
Hey, we love that.
Yes.
We love that. And of course, you also belong to a facility. If someone is looking for help with their mental health and all, how do
Yes.
they reach you?
So you can go to the Ridge Hospital. There's a clinical psychology department. We have our boss, Miss Ann Kufo. We have Salim, who recommended me to come here. And all of us, we are there to offer you the support. If you are not close to Ridge, almost every hospital has a clinical psychologist unit that will help you to overcome, you know. And I also run a social media page called Unmute Ghana, where I educate parents on how to look out for the signs of sexual abuse in children. Some children don't speak up, but you should be able to notice. And then I educate people on child neglect, because everything starts with neglect. Once you neglect the child, you've opened up the space for whoever to fill in the gap. Yeah.
This is a very good conversation. I thought you would appreciate our resource persons. This is not just a TV show. This is a place where we give information that turns lives around. We give education that makes families even stronger. And I will tell you, young lady, young gentleman, watching Confessions today, and to you as a parent, take care of your children. Make them feel confident and secured in their homes. Be affable and warm enough, approachable enough, that they can ask permission and invite their friends over. That way, your children will be safe and secured. Same time next week, we bring you another edition of Confessions. I am Miss Nancy, and Confessions was brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go.